Hello, good evening, good morning, guys. Alex Fedotoff here, and today we have an amazing guest, the one and only Ecom King, joining us here from UK. His YouTube channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers at this point, generates millions of dollars, help clients generate millions of dollars as well, and we'll just brainstorm. We'll share with people what's working, and I'm very, very happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on board today. I'm very excited to share as much value as I possibly can.
Awesome. I mean, so what's your story? What's kind of like how you got into like e-commerce, into business, like how the journey was for you?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot on Twitter these days. We call it Twitter money. People saying they dropped out of school, they had no money, da 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 da. Now, funny enough, I literally lived that life, with proof that I dropped out of school very young. I didn't have any school grades, had no money. And I started working at a job called Primark. It's like a retail shop where you sell clothes. I worked at JD, which is like a sports shop as well. So I had two jobs, made some good money working two jobs, reinvested the money into my first business, which was a buying and reselling business where I buy luxury goods and then sell them for a profit because of the demand and the supply. And then I couldn't scale that business because it was very human intensive. Somebody had to know what they were doing, and only I knew what to do. So it was very hard to scale. So then I went onto Google and typed in how to make money online, and I read an article and it had 30 options, and drop shipping came up in various options: Amazon, eBay, Shopify. Affiliate marketing came up, loads of opportunities came up, but drop shipping stood out to me the most because with my luxury selling company, I was already using social media to promote it. So I had the skills that I thought could help me with my drop shipping store. So that's how I first got into drop shipping, and that was in 2017. And I would have been around about 17, 18 at the time. I was in a unique position where it was either I make this work or I go and work a really low paying job because I have no school grades, no qualifications. I can't go and get a good corporate job. So it was either I work really bad jobs for the rest of my life or I give a business a go. And the worst thing that happens is I go back to my normal job. Like when you're at the bottom, you can't go any lower. So I can only go higher. So that came to my advantage where I can only go up from here. And obviously with the first business being a luxury buying and reselling business, that actually worked. It made money, and that built up my belief that, if this business can work, why can't drop shipping work? Why can't these other things work? I understand that, of course, only the top 10 to 1% make good money, but it's not restricted if who can make the money. It's up to you if you want to be part of the 10%. There's not, a list of 1,000 people and it automatically chooses this person, this person, this person. You will decide if you're that person. So that's the way I look at life. Because people like my family would be like, oh, don't do this. It's a risk. You hear about it in the TV. Only a certain amount of people make it. And I used to say, well, it's those that make it the decision if it's going to be them or not. It's not life will just say, oh, this person gets it, this person gets it. You will decide.
Wow, such a good point. So you had you had pretty good beliefs, right? Like where those beliefs come from? Like, do you have like family that's supportive, or like entrepreneurs in your family as reference points?
My family are supportive in a certain manner. Maybe in terms of the business world, not, because they saw other people try businesses and they failed. So they were a bit skeptical, but they knew the kind of person I was growing up. If I said I was going to do something and I'm determined to do it, I normally get it done. Whether it takes me an extra 3 years to do it, a year to do it, or maybe I have to go through a lot of struggles to get there, they know most times I'm going to get there.
And it's fascinating, right, that you said about like 3 years and whatever time it takes, because I think in the current like time and place, like you go on Instagram, everyone's living like a perfect life. Yep. And it's like they show you, it's like, yeah, you're going to start a business like tomorrow, you're making like, millions of dollars. You drive like a Lambo, and people come into the business with these like false expectations that it's easy, right? That it's like, the first product they test is a winner, right? The first thing that they do is like literally hits. And so what would you say to those people, like knowing what you know now? And
I think going into 2024, Twitter has become a big place now for people to get knowledge, motivation. We call it Twitter money, right? I think that's the worst thing you can do, because a lot of people on Twitter, you're going on your Twitter page or your X account and you're seeing people post Rolexes, Lamborghinis, flashy, holidays. These kind of things aren't, a great thing to look at as a beginner, because you're going to assume that this is going to come fast and easy. And the truth is, you're going to lose money. If you're not willing to lose a few $1,000s, I lost $6,000 before I saw my first success. So if you're not willing to lose a few $1,000s, then I don't think you're in the right place. So you got to get used to losing money and understand that losing money, is okay, because money can be remade. Time cannot. Time is precious. Once it's done, it's done. Once 2023 is done, there's no getting another 2023. The clock only goes up. So I think people need to look more realistic and I can understand why it's hard for a lot of beginners these days to feel more grounded and more realistic when they're seeing such unrealistic expectations online. And I think it's a good idea to avoid that and to just keep on their own path and understand that this is a journey. And what I always tell people is, let's say you're watching this and you're 25 years old. Let's say you're watching this and you're 35 years old. Heck, let's say you're watching this and you're 45 years old. Let's say worst case scenario, it takes you 4 to 5 years for this to work. That means as a 25-year-old, you're now 30 years old, financially free, etc. Let's say you were 35, you're now 40, financially free. Most people are not financially free until their late 70s, 80s. So I don't think it's a bad idea if after 5 years you can be financially free. If you look at the average time to get an increase in salary or a job promotion, a good corporate job, you're looking at between 3 to 5 years. So if you spend the same time doing a side hustle and genuinely put your time, energy, and determination into it, you could achieve way, way more. And I meet some very smart people. I met a smart kid a few days ago, and he said he was working on a construction site, and he used to build these. I forgot what it was. I think he used to build these lifts for this company, and he was saying that he was working out the numbers. So when he was going to his 9 to 5 job, when he would look at the invoices for his company, he'd look at getting this stuff made. He was calculating in his head how much the business owner's making. So he was really smart. He was calculating in his head. They're paying this. They're charging the customers. Their profit margin is $20,000. So the kid was like, wow, I'm starting my own company. So it's how you look at life. If you're working a 9 to 5, just look at how much, your boss is making, calculate, do some rough math and think to yourself, as a business owner, look how much money they're making.
Yeah, such a good point. And short term, right? If you wanna do that, as you said, if you wanna do that jump, right? You need to be willing to take risks, lose money, right? Lose some time initially, lose energy, get rejection. So there is like these obstacles, right? Kind of like you're going through this game and there's like obstacle. There's this guy, there's this guy, there's this guy. And so you have to overcome all of those obstacles, right? If you want to get to the other side.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. I mean, so I know you're big on TikTok, and you have some case studies on your YouTube channel, like using I think TikTok ads, if I'm not
That's the
mistaken.
one. Yeah, that's
And
the
so,
one.
and so how do you like? So do you like TikTok more, like Facebook? Kind of like where do you? What do you like?
I'm depending on the store, but normally it's between Facebook and Google. Sorry, Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, Facebook and TikTok. We do a lot of Google ads. Google ads isn't great for scaling, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I find Google hits a threshold, and then you can only maintain it. But I really do get some nice aggressive scalings on Facebook and TikTok. A new method that I found that works really well for the last 3 to 6 months for me on TikTok is, instead of running the ads off your account, get the influencer to run it off their account. That gets me some really good results.
It's that's on Facebook or on TikTok?
Nah, TikTok.
TikTok. These are Spark ads, or
So you can either do it as a Spark ad, or you can get the influencer, if they agree to it, to basically, let you attach their account to your BM or, business center, and get to run the ads off that.
oh wow, interesting. And so, what kind of categories, what kind of niches? I know you
The
have
beauty
something in
niche
apparel.
works really well. Customizable personal jewelry works really well. And the fitness one is starting to pick up a little bit. But normally it's either jewelry or personalized jewelry, personalized jewelry, or beauty that does well.
Nice. So do you do like also organic, like sending product to content creators, like or getting some organic
In
content and then post?
2021, we were really, yeah, in 2021, we were really big with organic. We slowed down a lot recently because I feel like the algorithm slowed down with it. But we still think, and I do believe as a beginner, if you're short on cash, doing Reels, Shorts, and TikToks is a great opportunity to build your first $10,000.
To accumulate the $10,000 in capital, right?
As in, like you can generate $10,000 in profit with organic Reels, Shorts, and TikToks. Pretty, within. I know guys that started organics in the start of the year. Now they've got $8,000 in their bank account ready to spend as profit. So the only
Nice.
downside is you do have to put a lot of time and effort and commitment into it. Learn how to use CapCut, learn how to shoot UGC, user generated content. But as soon as you can do that, the sky's the limit.
Nice. And also like the skill set that you accumulate throughout that process, right? Because like, I mean, if you understand how to sell stuff, if you understand how to position the product, if you understand how to write, the right scripts that convert, that get someone from like not seeing, not knowing your brand, your product, to actually buying it. I mean, that's such a valuable skill set that will serve you for the rest of your life because, the platforms will change. Today's TikTok, tomorrow something else or Facebook. But then, the skill set of you like actually knowing how to position the product, how to create the pain in customer life and how to plug that pain with your product. So then, it's a solution to their problem that they have. It's such a valuable skill set.
I think what a lot of people don't appreciate as a dropshipper is you're learning so many valuable skills that no other business will give you the opportunity to learn. You're learning how to do product research, how to understand the consumer, how to find out, consumer audience, customer hero journey. You're learning how to do building a website. You're learning so many skills that people run as their own business, like website design, product research. You're learning the most fundamental part, which is media buying, running ads. Companies, marketing agencies make killings doing this. So you as a drop shipper, even if you don't make money, you're building a skill set that is worth a lot of money, a lot of money.
For sure. So okay, so you do that. What's like on the funnels? You use funnels usually Shopify stores. Like what's working for you?
For me personally, I've only ever done Shopify stores. They're the only ones that I tend to like to do and only do.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. And so you have that, you stack in like do you also like stack like TikTok, like Facebook, like you have any stores where you use like multiple platforms to drive traffic?
Yeah, so most of our stores all of our stores use Google, and then it's either Facebook and TikTok. So it's either one or sometimes both. And then we like to run Twitter ads. I find Twitter ads to do really well at the moment. They're doing really good for fashion brands and
Oh,
clothing
really?
companies. Twitter
It
ads.
Wow. So does it have like purchase like conversion optimization, like the same things
Yeah.
as Facebook?
Yeah, it has a lot of stuff. To get the best benefits, you need a US account. So you need to have a US page. And you can do really nice carousel shopping ads on there. And they perform really, really well. You get some really cheap customers.
Wow, this is fascinating. So for you guys listening, would you start it with Twitter as your first, let's say, platform? Like kind of
I
let's say
think
you're just getting into e-commerce.
if you're selling anything that's image based, where your product doesn't need a video to explain what it is and what it does, then Twitter's a great option.
Wow, like jewelry, personal jewelry.
Jewelry, clothing, furniture products, home appliances, those types of things can do some insane numbers.
When you first got into like e-commerce, like how much time did it take you to get some, first like traction?
So my first year was complete failure, and I lost a lot of money. Like I said, I lost £4,000, which at that time GDB to USD was about $6,000. So I lost about $6,000, and then the year later I went again. I did take a few months out. I went again, and that's when I was able to make my first 30K in profit. And then after that, I did my first million in revenue with around about 180K profit. So it took me around about, I'd say, a good 1.5 years. And then 2020, when the Rona came across, the world completely collapsed. It completely boosted my e-commerce businesses. That was when I made the most money in the shortest amount of time. COVID was a blessing for us as
Yeah.
e-commerce business owners.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunate for many people, but was good for
don't get me
e-commerce.
wrong, the first 2 weeks was scary. Don't get me wrong, because everyone was panicking and everything was going a bit crazy. But then once things settled down, people understood that they had to stay at home and shop online. Wow, did our stores just print money? We printed serious money. So that's when life really, really, really changed for me, where I got to a level where, like, you hit financial freedom, you're doing insane numbers, you've got a team, you can live a very good lifestyle. So yeah, that was a blessing. And then 2021 was also a blessing.
Nice. How is this year looking for you compared to those years?
Yeah, this year's done really, really well. We're about 23% more than last year, but the profit is a lot higher. The profit's up by about 8% this year, which might not sound like a lot, but on large numbers, it makes a lot of difference.
Nice.
Black Friday was really good. Christmas isn't doing as well as I thought it would do. I'll be honest, I don't know about you, but Christmas hasn't done great for us this year. It just ticks along. But yeah, we're focused more on building brands right now, not drop shipping stores. Drop shipping stores are great for building cash, but we're looking at brand value and equity, and we're looking to build stores and sell them for millions and millions of dollars. A lot of people don't realize, if you want to make life-changing money in e-com, you need to build a brand that can be sold for $20 million, $30 million, $50 million, et cetera, et cetera. Look at Gymshark. They've been able to build a company that's worth $1 billion.
100%. Yeah, it's like, and also longer, like, comes down to the same point, right? Like, the longer time projections, like, you dedicate, 5-10 years to this, like, you build something that's worth, like, real life-changing amounts.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also like, if you want to be somebody to be proud of something, I'm not saying you can't be proud of a dropshipping store, but it's like, you can say, I own this brand, and people are going to hear the brand and be like, oh, I've heard of that brand. That's really impressive. You own that brand. Wow, that's amazing. So those are things that are amazing to have. So like here in the UK, I co-own a fashion company, and it's called Solital. And, when I go out in the UK, I see a lot of people wearing it, and I don't say anything, but when I see people wearing it, it's just like, wow, people are wearing your clothes.
Nice. That's amazing. Yeah. Same for our business. Like, we've done most of our volume always, like, from China, but right now we are, like, moving, even, like, the manufacturing, like, here in the United States, products made in USA, factories that are, like, certified, like, kind of, like, have all of the certifications that we need. Like, we can be sure that those products are, like, legit high quality, something that, we can be proud of. And I think that's the way to do it. Like, the way to do it is to, like, sell the products that you're proud of.
Yeah, 100% sure. 100%. Like, dropshipping, like I said, is a great way to test things, build some quick cash, but longevity is not great with dropshipping because you have to change the product every year. The longest that I can run a dropshipping product for is around about 6 to 8 months, and then it dies out. So that's why I'm saying it's probably best, to start building brands after you've seen some success.
For sure. You live in London, right?
I live near London. I live in Birmingham, so it's about an hour away from London. Yeah.
Is that where Gymshark is from?
Gymshark's from Birmingham. Yeah, a lot of talent has come from Birmingham. You've got MDV, you've got Gymshark, you've got a lot of big brands that have come from Birmingham. Yeah.
Nice. You want to move to Dubai?
Not, unfortunately, not.
No, why not?
It's a controversial topic, man. I actually lived there in 2021 for 4 months. I got my Emirates ID. I paid to be a resident. It's just not for me. I'm quite a mellow person. I like to be quiet. I like to be, with my family and relaxed. Over there, it's all about flashing your Lamborghinis, your Patek, your Rolex. It's all about who's got the most, and I just like to be relaxed and calm. So I'm happy, where I am.
This is fascinating. You have very good self-awareness, because most people just do, like, what other people do, right? Everyone's moving here. Okay, let's move.
Everyone's moving to Dubai, man. It's like Twitter. Like I said, Twitter money. Everyone's in Dubai, smoking cigars, renting a Lambo, renting a yacht. In the penthouse. It gets a little bit cliche after a while.
Huh. That's fascinating, right? And oftentimes, there are the people who actually do the highest volumes, like, they're nowhere to be seen.
Bro, the guys that do the biggest numbers in e-com, you don't even know what their name is. They're probably living in China. They're probably living in, New York, San Francisco. You won't even know where they are, who they are. They're just chilling. They're online laughing at us like these guys are just little pawns on a chessboard. I think people will watch a few people on YouTube that they like, they're inspired by, they find crazy cool, and they will try and live in their footsteps and not make their own footsteps. And I always advise people to try things out. Like I tried Dubai out for a few months, and I got there and realized it's not for me. I came back. I plan on traveling around the world more next year. I want to come and visit you in Miami.
It's
That's been on my
good.
list for a very, very long time. So that'll be really, really cool. I want to travel all across the world and explore things, So that's the way I am. But, I have a certain type of element which is very different to most people. I don't want to be flashy. I don't want to be cigar lounge, all this. I'm just relaxed, and that's it.
And making money, like, and don't give a
Yeah, I'm just chilled, bro. I'm sitting here making money. It's a blessing. God blessed us with, the potential to do this and just be relaxed. I don't need to go out there and, flaunt it. A lot of people are detached from what is classed as as a lifestyle blessing, which is being able to choose. Like, for example, I choose when I want to wake up. If I want to wake up at 11 a.m. in the morning and I have a lion, I can do that. That's a blessing. Most people have to wake up to an alarm clock. If I want to say, you know what, I want to call it a day today and just go. If I want to book a flight to the other side of the world tomorrow, I can do that. These are just blessings that a lot of people are now taken for granted. But these are true, true blessings. Having the potential to live life on your terms. I can go into a restaurant, not look at the price of, is this steak too expensive? I can just order it and not worry about it. That's a blessing.
How's your family like? Is your family supportive of you? I mean, obviously now seeing the success that you've had,
Yeah,
like,
they're a lot more supportive because I think they've realized that this business thing, this online thing, whatever it is, makes some form of money if he's able to do this. I think our old generation, the older generation, especially where my family come from, they're skeptical. So now they've seen that this works and makes money. They're a lot more intrigued. They want to know a little bit more about what it does. But yeah, they love it. They're grateful. They're very happy of me, proud of me, and they're very happy that they had me in a time of the world where the online world exists. Because look, growing up as a kid, I was a nerd. I loved my computers. I used to love doing messing around with computers. So I was born in 1999. So I was born just at the right time to experience the evolution of the internet. So I was born at the right time, at the right place to be able to take advantage of this.
wow, this is fascinating. And so, like, you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have a brother. Yeah.
Is he also in business? Like, he's also doing anything related?
He's got a very good corporate job. He was very smart. So he's an accountant for a company called Capgemini. It's an internet company here in the UK. He is more into real estate. So he enjoys real estate more than business. So he's investing his earnings from his good paying job into the real estate. But he always asks for my help on marketing. How do you know what's the best way to create a brand, etc. So, but yeah, he's into real estate. I'm into e-com, two different things.
Nice. How is life like? So UK since Brexit, like, did you notice any change? I mean, probably for you.
Yeah. There's huge.
Yeah?
So you've already got a massive inflation crisis all over the world, but we've been hit the hardest because we don't manufacture anything. So we don't manufacture anything. We import everything. So if we're importing everything, it's just going to go through the roof. So it's caused a lot. I think there was a case study that came up the other day saying that 90% of people regret voting to leave because of the living conditions in the UK. Like, the UK is ridiculously expensive. I say to people, if you want to know what expensive is, come live in London and you will be like, what the fish? Like, you won't know what to do. £1 million gets you a small house above a fish and chip shop, like a really horrible shop. So a lot of my friends that have come here from Canada, come here from other parts of the world are like, wow, you guys have it tough here. Like, it's super expensive.
Wow, this is crazy. Do you think that's going to change, like, in the next few years?
I think the UK is going to literally be in self-destruct mode for a good 20 years. I think the UK was amazing 20 years ago, but ever since then, it's just dropped. It just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And I think the UK is going to hit a rock solid bottom in the next 10 years, and it's going to be very dark and very dull for a lot of people. And I think I've seen it myself. A lot of rich people in the UK are moving. They're moving to Singapore. They're moving to Malaysia. They're moving to China. They're moving to loads of different places because there's nothing here. That being rich in the UK is not great because it's very dangerous. You can't even wear a nice watch in the UK; it'll get taken straight off your arm. So
I've heard that. Is that true?
yeah, Andrew Tate will even tell you, like, if you come to London, you wear your Rolex out at the wrong place, it's going to get taken off straight away. So
wow,
to be rich here is not fun. You have to literally have a sleeve and cover your watch. So, having a nice car here, it's not nice. People will try and steal it. I think we have the highest rate of robbed cars in the UK in the whole of Europe. People will just rob your car. They have all this technology to do it. So it's not a great place to live if you've made it in life because, there's a lot. And it comes down to what I was saying. The UK is in a bad place where people are very hungry. So if they see other people that have money, they will try and take away from it, which is natural.
Wow, this is interesting. I was last time I was in or the proper time, like 2017. Was it different? It looked.
Oh yeah,
everything looked
2017
so cool.
was a lot different. Like it was a lot more positive, less like the UK got really bad in the last 3 to 5 years. It just became really, really. Like Andrew Tate's talked about it a lot. He's from Luton. Luton is a very rough place to live, but he understands the living conditions here in the UK. He's made many videos saying, don't wear a nice watch in London. Be very careful.
Wow, this is interesting. It's interesting, kind of like also. I like to look at things in a bigger like context, right? How for example, like leadership and strategy and like overall like bigger things like picture, right? Impacts like whole countries, like even United States right now. It's also like it's kind of like was the president was like this whole like mass, like politically countries divided. There's like Republicans, there's like so it is fascinating how it's kind of like on a macro level how it's like in a business, right? You have like bad leadership, like the business owner is not kind of like on point, doesn't prioritize what's important, like has like ego, right? Like trying to prove something to someone, then the whole business will be a mess. And
I think the best way. I love what you're saying because it brings me on to a point now where I think it's super important for people to understand. And I'll leave people on this note. Look at life as a massive chessboard. Whether or not you like chess or you don't like chess, chess is a simple game of science. You have a chessboard, you have a few pieces on the chessboard, they have certain, movements. Now, and look at life as a monopoly board as well. You choose in life where you want to be. Now, unfortunately, it is very, very hard in life to get to the top of the chessboard or to become the king or queen on the chessboard because there are so many restrictions. Now, you've got to understand, business just enables you to go from a pawn to being a bishop or being, something on the chessboard that has a lot more movement. Because you've got to remember, we live in a world right now where people are trying to push their narrative and trying to brainwash you into believing certain things. Now, a lot of rich people didn't suffer during COVID because they were able to do certain things because the money enabled them to do certain things. People would go on private jets because, you don't have to, you're allowed to do them kind of things. So what I'm trying to say to people is look at life as a chessboard. And unfortunately, if you want to maneuver around the chessboard the best way possible, you can't do it as a pawn, as a 9-to-5 brainwashed person that believes everything the media is going to tell you. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. You have to be willing to risk in life to become a business owner that generates wealth that can then build them onto, different things on the board.
And even to be able to, let's say if life in a specific country, specific city, specific place, right, becomes like unbearable, right? Just being able to, as you said, having the freedom to like pack your luggage, boom, you're gone, you're done, you don't care, right? Like you just settle down in another city, another place. If you work like remotely.
That's insane. Like, for example, like I know the UK is going to get worse. So like I'm already in discussion with my family, with my wife, we're going to move in the next 3 years. So that's an expensive thing to do. You have to get new residency, you have to find a new home. Unless you're wealthy, you can't do that. So that's why I'm saying this is a blessing, and you've hit the nail on the head. You've really hit the nail on the head. That's an opportunity.
My man, thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, I mean, you probably follow Ikram King, Kamil on YouTube. If not, we'll drop his info below. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for amazing conversation and so many great points.
Thank you so much, Alex, for having me on the YouTube channel. It's been overdue. I'd love to hear what your audience think about the podcast or the video today in the comment section. If you want to see a part 2, let us know as well. And I just want to say a massive thank you again for your time. And hopefully next year in Miami, we can sit down and do a nice podcast for about an hour and a half, an hour. That would be dope. Let us know in the comment section if you want to see that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Kamil, for joining me. I'll see you soon.